guys, Sean Bodley here today to talk to you about this, the Ibanez RG550. So, unless you're new to guitar playing, you've probably come across this guitar many times before. It's probably the most famous Ibanez guitar outside of signature model guitars like the Gem, Universe, etc. So the 550 was kind of the rock guitar that put Ibanez on the map, I guess, back in the 80s. This guitar came out around 1987 through to I think about 1994. So when I was about 14 years old, which would have been probably around 1989, yep, around there, this guitar showed up in a music shop, local music shop. It was on the wall. I walked in there one day when I was 14 and I saw it and I wanted it, so I went home and basically harassed my dad and dragged him down to the shop to buy it for me. And when I got there, it had been sold, so I was gutted. It was probably going to be about another 4 years before I ever got to buy a guitar from a music shop, so I was stuck at home with my no-name Strat copy. So I missed out on the RG550 that was in Desert Sun Yellow. Fast forward to about 5 years ago, I managed to pick up one of the reissue ones that they did for the Japanese market. They did a series called the Genesis Collection, and I found a guy in the USA that had imported one, was selling it, and so I bought it, and it was in a different color than this one, and I eventually ended up selling that one, regrettably. And then fast forward again through to yesterday, where I went to my local music shop, and this one was hanging on the wall, so I grabbed it to do a demo for you guys and ended up buying it. So now it's my RG550. So finally I get one in the color that I wanted 30 years later. So there we go. So this is the RG550, the most famous Ibanez guitar of them all, I believe. It's come and gone in lots of different colors. At the moment it's available, I believe, in this color, which is Desert Sun Yellow. The other color it's available in, which is a nice bright color, is one called Road Flare Red. Okay, Road Flare Red, which was what my old one used to be. And then also available at the moment is a color called Neon Purple. So Neon Purple is pretty cool as well. And then in the left-handed version you can get the Road Flare Red and the Desert Yellow. So for those lefties out there that can never seem to find guitars that they want, now's the time to get it. I don't know how long this range of guitars is going to be around for. Knowing Ibanez, they tend to do things for a year or two and then you may not see it again for another 10 years, so who knows. So grab one now while you can. They are Japanese made, just like the originals, and insanely cheap for an Ibanez Japanese built guitar. If you're familiar with the Ibanez range, most of the middle of the range sort of stuff are Indonesian guitars now, called the Premium series. So they can range anywhere from, you know, sort of, I don't know, $1,000 New Zealand through to $2,500 New Zealand for a premium guitar, which is the Indonesian range. This is Japanese, and the Japanese ones tend to rank a little bit higher above those ones in terms of quality. And so this guitar in New Zealand at the moment is under $1,500, which is crazy. So it's definitely worth checking out. Now the thing that really stands out with these guitars is the thinness of the neck. So you probably can't see on the camera, but that is only 17 millimeters thick at the first fret, which is super thin. I believe this neck, they call it the Super Wizard neck now. So it's a 5-piece neck, 17 millimeters at the first fret, 43 millimeters wide like a normal RG neck, but it feels like it wants to play really fast. Really thin, really quick neck. It's a maple fretboard. They do these, or I know in the past they've done them in rosewood. I'm not sure if you can get the RG550s in rosewood now, but it's worth looking into if you're a rosewood person. So maple neck, 5-piece neck, and it's got a what they call a volute up here. Back in the early days, of the RGs, they had a nut that was mounted from the reverse. So there was a couple of screws that went through the neck and mounted the nut on there, and they were prone to cracking. So they fixed that by top mounting the nut and putting a volute in the back. So that should solve that problem. Now the other thing that was an issue back in the 80s and early 90s was neck pocket cracking. So they've kept the original neck joint here. So this is called a square heel joint. Newer Ibanez guitars have what's called an all-access neck joint, which is a more rounded shape that stops cracking, especially in this part of the pocket here and that part of the neck pocket there. I had a floral gem years ago, and I remember picking it up to play it one day, and I grabbed it by the neck and picked it up, and I felt it crack through the neck pocket. Most of the time it's just a finish crack, so it is just a, you know, something that doesn't look the greatest but doesn't actually affect the playability. From time to time you do get neck pocket cracks where the wood itself actually splits. So they fixed that by changing to the all-access neck joint. But there are still those artists that prefer the original square heel, like the JS, sorry, the JS line has a square heel neck joint. And same with this. So hopefully this isn't going to crack over time. So, other specs with this particular guitar. The original Ibanez Edge bridge, which is my favorite and the favorite of a lot of people. So this is the original Edge, super stable with tuning, and you know, nice and smooth when you use it. You've got a 5-way selector, and the selector switch at the top. You have your neck pickup. Neck selector down is this inner coil of the neck plus the single coil in the middle. You've got the single coil in the middle, then to the single coil and the inner coil of the bridge pickup, and then lastly the bridge pickup on its own. Now these are Ibanez Zone pickups, so there's the V7 and the V8 humbucker and the S1 in the middle. Some people like to swap them out for Damasio's and you know, brands like that. I actually quite like these pickups, so I'll be leaving them in. So go to a tuner's, and it's pretty much a bare bones rock guitar. It's designed to last your entire life basically, and it's designed to be played, toured, gigged, and handle the abuse. If you check out eBay and Reverb, you'll see a whole bunch of older ones of these that have stood the test of time, and they've become highly collectible. So this is definitely a workhorse guitar. So what I'm going to do is take you through some of the sounds of the various selector positions of the pickups. We're going to do it on a clean channel with a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, just so you can hear what those different pickups all sound like. And then what we might do is jump in and play a bit of lead over a backing track so you can hear this thing in action. And yeah, let's get down to business. Okay, first up we have the bridge pickup on its own. Okay, next up we have the bridge inner coil plus the single coil. Okay, now the single coil in the middle. Okay, next position is the inner coil of the neck pickup and the single. Okay, and the last position is the neck pickup on its own. Okay, so now I'm going to jump in, play over a backing track, a bit of a lead sound with a bit of wah and stuff like that, so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. These guitars are designed, you know, for fast playing, rock playing, but not just that, you can use them to play jazz, blues, anything you like, but these necks definitely designed for speed. So the RG550, available in New Zealand exclusively through MusicWorks. Check them out now before they disappear.